Okie dokie, so we spent the last video finding the Goron Elder and learning the Goron Lullaby, which we just used in the Goron Shrine to put the Goron Elder's son to sleep. There's one more thing we can do in this building before we leave, though. You want to smash the jars here to find some Deku Sticks. Now that he has stopped crying, the torch here is lit once more, so you want to put the Deku Sticks on one of your C buttons and then light one on the torch here. There are several unlit torches in the other room that follow a pretty set line, and they stay lit for quite a while, but the goal is to run around and get them all lit at the same time. If you have the bunny hood, I recommend you use it to make this a little bit easier and faster. Once you have successfully lit them all, this will light the chandelier that's hanging from the ceiling and make it start spinning. I'm not really sure how that would power anything, but at least it's a little less weird than, say, I don't know, lighting some torches and making a giant jar spin in the middle of Goron City. So you can speak with the two Gorons down here while wearing the Goron mask, and at this point, they have some interesting conversation that relates to the chandeliers. Now, the one is frightened because Darmani is supposed to be dead, so he thinks you're a ghost come back to haunt everyone. He offers you to take the food that he hid up in the chandelier. Now, that's nice of him, though you'd think it would just kind of burn to a char. I'm kind of more concerned with how he got it up there to begin with, though. I'm going to roll up the ramp here and get back to the red carpet. At the entrance that leads into the throne room, the carpet is slippery like ice. Now, perhaps they didn't insulate the stone around the doorway very well, but either way, you can use this to charge up your Goron roll and roll off the jump at the end. This will allow you to smash the jars of the chandelier one by one. Kind of a weird design, really. I mean, it's like they're begging you to smash their ceramics, but then this is Zelda. I mean, people purposefully leave their goods lying around here so you can smash or steal it, right? We're learning good life skills here. Now, there isn't really a trick to this other than good timing. There's 5 flaming jar thingies, and 4 of them are empty, so this may take you a few tries, but I recommend you start rolling initially when the jar you're aiming for is at the back of the chandelier. That way, it will reach the front by the time you hit the jump. Now, when you finally hit the correct one, a cinematic will show the rock sirloin fall down. Now, perhaps it's just the fact that it's rock and that it has something in common with meat, but this thing always makes me think of the Flintstones. They don't actually have meat in that show that's this shape at all, though. Anyway, it's super heavy, so you can pick it up while wearing the Goron mask. With that in hand, you want to go ahead and exit the Goron Shrine. Flashback time! Back in Chapter 2, I got the Level 2 bomb bag, which is required for this next thing I'm about to show, so pay attention if you didn't do this. On the first night at 12 a.m., there's an old lady who enters North Clocktown bringing goods to the bomb shop, which she owns. Sack and the thief will swoop in and try to steal her sack, and you can slash him with your sword to save the goods from being stolen. The woman will give you the blast mask as a reward, but in addition to that, she'll successfully bring her package to the bomb shop in West Clocktown. They normally stock regular bomb bags, which cost 50 rupees and hold 20 bombs, but if you save the old woman, they'll now carry big bomb bags and cost 90 rupees that hold up to 30 bombs for the rest of that 3-day cycle. Because of this, you can skip ahead and purchase the level 2 bomb bag and not even purchase the regular one, so it's kind of cool. You can go straight to the level 2 bag. So as I said, I did this back in Chapter 2, so just outside of the Goron Shrine, there's a business scrub here that has a special deal for you. You can speak with him while wearing the Goron mask, and he'll offer you to upgrade your big bomb bag into the biggest bomb bag, and this means that you'll need to have the level 2 bomb bag from the bomb shop, and you'll also need 200 rupees in order to purchase this, for this to work. So if you only have the regular bomb bag, aka the level 1 bag, then you'll have to save the old woman in North Clocktown at 12 a.m. on the first night, and then purchase the big bomb bag from the bomb shop on the following days, and then return here to upgrade with the business scrub here. With all that out of the way, you want to pick up your chunk of stone meat and continue working your way out of Goron Village. There are several Tektites along the way, but you can just ignore them. Now, earlier on, there was a Goron we met in Mountain Village that was starving to death, and he mentioned that he wanted something hard and flavorful. Well, this definitely fits the bill, so we're on our way to fork it over. Remember that the Gorons eat stone and such, so in this area you'll see several enemies that you can also ignore, but it is worth noting, though, that both of these enemies are vulnerable to the Goron Pound, which is holding the A button and pressing B to smash down on the ground. If you time it right, you can hit the Wolfos in the tail, and it also will flip Tektites over, so that's kind of cool. It makes them easier. And this is technically because the Goron mask is just a redesigned version of the Megaton hammer from the previous game, Ocarina of Time, but with some better functionality. It's a little easier to use and more user-friendly. The Tektites in Ocarina of Time could be flipped over using the hammer as well, though it's a little less known fact about that game. Once you finally get back to Mountain Village, you want to run over to the far west side and toss the rock sirloin up onto the ledge with the starving Goron. When he sees it, he makes an interesting comment saying that this particular rock is a delicacy all the way from Dodongo's Cavern, which is over in Hyrule, so it must have traveled a very long way, as far as you've traveled anyway. After he's done thanking you, he'll then pass on the Don Gero mask, which will allow you to conduct the frog choir here in Mountain Village. Unfortunately, everything is kind of covered in snow right now, so we'll have to wait a while before we'll be able to do anything with that. This mask is part of a later side quest that will allow you to earn a piece of heart, but we can't accomplish this until we reach the 3rd temple in the game, so it's quite a ways off, so don't really worry about it right now. So once our Goron friend runs off, we're ready to head on to Snowhead, so just follow the signs and take the northern paths to reach the road to Snowhead. So as you enter this area, you'll immediately encounter a new enemy called a Keys. They are very similar to Bad Bats that we saw in Southern Swamp, but they have one distinct difference, which is, if they touch a red or blue flame, they become either fire or ice keys. The effect they have when they touch you in these forms is pretty self-explanatory from their name. But suffice to say, if you encounter an ice keys, you should definitely defend with your shield to put out their colorful flames and avoid potentially being frozen. Whenever you see these angled ledges like this on the left, it means that you can Goron roll across it, but you'll have to charge it up completely for it to work. So if you don't have spikes, then you'll just roll off the ledge. Now the snow here is slippery, so you should easily have enough space to charge it up completely. Now if you're pretty experienced with Goron rolling, you can just roll right through this as I show here, but just realize that I have a lot of practice. As I keep saying, you know you've played too much Majora's Mask when. So if you're not very good at this part, or you haven't Goron rolled very much, then you'll probably just want to stop rolling just after you cross each gap and then run forward, fire punching through the boulders to work your way forward. And I'll show this tactic later on in this video too, but once you get to the last gap, just go and roll across it and continue on to reach Snowhead itself. You'll see a cutscene showing off the area and some strange wind is blowing in this direction, but we'll deal with that in a moment. You want to slash the owl statue here with your sword and then soar back to Clocktown. Now that we have the song for this area, which is the Goron Lullaby, and the owl statue to teleport back to Snowhead, we have everything we need to enter the temple, meaning that this is an excellent opportunity to play the Song of Time and save. However, now that we have the Goron mask, there's a piece of heart that we can get in Clocktown real quick. Now, part of my reasoning for doing this right now is that if you're following along, you should have 19 pieces of heart. One more will get us another heart container for this temple, and that would be pretty darn awesome. Plus, this is really easy to do. We're going to need some rupees, so you either want to snag some out of the bank, or snag the silver rupee that is just so conveniently above the shooting gallery. You want to jump along the first ledges here in East Clocktown using the bunny hood, or you can simply roll right before you jump to get some added distance. Now I know, I keep getting these rupees in the last few videos, and I'm pretty much doing this excessively, this one, but it's just that it's literally right next to all the stuff we keep doing. Once you've gotten that, you want to hop down and enter the shop that looks like a giant treasure chest, appropriately named the Treasure Chest Shop. Now you could have played this game long before now, but you would have only been able to win rupees, so the trick is to realize that the lady behind the counter charges you based on your appearance, so depending on how cute you are or how handsome, the price will change, and so do the prizes. You want to speak with her while wearing the Goron mask, and she apparently thinks you're ugly, so she will charge you a whopping 30 rupees to play. However, this is good because if you win, the prize will be a piece of heart instead of just a purple rupee. As she explains, the goal is to open the chest on the other side of the building. The floor is covered with checkered tiles that will spring up once you get close. This forms an invisible maze that you have to navigate through in a limited amount of time. The best way to get through this is to use the bunny hood, and if you don't have that option, then you can resort to using the Goron mask for rolling. But try to only roll at 75% speed or so, because if you tilt the analog stick all the way in any direction, you'll move too fast and will bonk into walls and such, and it will slow you down. It's pretty straightforward, and if you do take too many wrong turns, you'll probably run out of time. So it may take a few tries to kind of get the hang of it, but in general, I have noticed that the maze tends to follow the unexpected route. The straight line towards the chest usually just leads to a dead end, so if the chest is on the left side, for example, you want to try entering the maze on the right side, etc. Once you finally reach the chest, and if you paid as a Goron, you'll receive a piece of heart. So you want to put the rest of your rupees in the bank and play the Song of Time to save. At this point, if you didn't get the biggest bomb bag with me earlier on in the same video, now would be an excellent time to go do that. Alright, so we have all of the pre-temple stuff done, and we have the Goron mask, and the Goron lullaby, and the owl statue in front of the temple, so we're finally ready to enter. You want to soar to Snowhead and play the inverted Song of Time to slow down time. This way we have the most amount of time possible to complete the temple. As you run forward, walking against the wind that's blowing this way, Tattle will give you a hint. She says that you should be able to see something in the middle of the blizzard up ahead. That's a clue that you can use the lens of truth to see what's up. Let's follow her advice, and you'll see a giant invisible Goron that is blowing in this direction. That's totally logical. I mean, why else would there be a blizzard on an icy mountain? Of course, it's just a regular blizzard? No, sir. Obviously, some invisible dude is doing an impression of the big bad wolf. The game isn't too clear on what you're supposed to do at this point, but like all of the other temple areas, they're following the same formula. You want to wear the transformation mask for that compass direction, and play the song that you learned there as well. In this case, that is the Goron mask in combination with the Goron lullaby, which will put Gorons to sleep, obviously. With that taken care of, we are free to proceed. You can smash the snowballs here to find some goodies that we will need in the temple, and there's also a fairy here that I recommend you put in a bottle for later. Fairies will automatically heal you when you run out of health, and in these 64 titles they also heal you completely as well, making them the best form of healing in the game. Other than blue potions, I suppose, if you need magic as well, but that's a little hard to come by at this point in the game. As you run forward, you'll encounter some snow boulders that will fall from the sky. Talk about some serious hail. Now, if they get in your way and you can't avoid them, you can simply use the Goron mask to fire punch them out of your way. Once you reach the ramp, you can use A to roll up it, and at the top you will see 2 white wolfos, and as I mentioned earlier, you can kill them with well-timed Goron pounds, which will kill them in a single hit. Do so if you wish, and then work your way to the left, and there are actually white bows out here, fuzzy little cute enemies that will jump at you, but they're only out here at night for some reason. Don't worry though, I will introduce you to some once we enter the temple. Now, as you can see on your minimap, there's a ramp over here that goes along the side of the mountain and then steadily leads upwards to the entrance. We're going to climb our way up, and it's pretty narrow, and there are some more of those giant snow boulders along the way that will knock you off, decide if you're not careful. So you can either run along using the bunny hood and avoid them, or you can destroy the boulders with fire punches. Now, alternatively, you can blow them up with bombs, but that's very hard to time. But you can also use the blast mask, but that takes a little while to recharge. Either way, once you reach the top, you can go inside the cave-like entrance to enter the Snowhead Temple, which I will show you in the next video.